A civil war is brewing in the Republican Party, in which mainstay GOPers are pushing back against a growing anti-Semitic far-right offshoot, searching for legitimization. And the growing rift reached what seems like a boiling point after Ben Shapiro unleashed a blistering tirade against Tucker Carlson on November 3rd, accusing him of normalizing Nazism by hosting white nationalist Nick Fuentes on his podcast in late October.
It is not cancellation to refuse to signal boost Hitler's supporters like Nick Fuentes. It is not cancellation to criticize Tucker Carlson for rhetorically fluffing Nick Fuentes and other anti-American crackpots. The issue here isn't that Tucker Carlson had Nick Fuentes on his show last week. He has every right to do that, of course. The issue here is that Tucker Carlson decided to normalize and fluff Nick Fuentes, and that the Heritage Foundation then decided to robustly defend that performance. Those who criticize both Tucker and Heritage aren't canceling, they are quite properly drawing a moral line.
Fuentes leads a movement known as the Groypers and has been banned from multiple platforms. Groypers, or the Groyper Army, according to the Anti-Defamation League, are far-right followers of Fuentes who believe in preserving white, European-American culture and hold racist and anti-Semitic beliefs. The 27-year-old far-right influencer has been extremely controversial and has become synonymous with expressing anti-Semitic sentiment, espousing disgustingly sexist views like claiming that women want to be raped, denying the Holocaust, and grousing that the GOP is run by Jews, atheists, and homosexuals.
A lot of women want to be raped, and when I say raped, I mean like, that sounds bad when I say it like that, but there's like a lot of women that really want a guy to beat the shit out of them. Everybody raise your right hand, repeat after me. I will kill, rape, and die for Nicholas J. Fuentes.
It is Heil Hitler Friday, Heil Hitler, all my niggas Nazi.
Hitler was a pedophile and kind of a pagan. It's like, well, he was also really fucking cool.
During the more than 2-hour interview between Carlson and Fuentes, which has racked up more than 17 million views on X, Carlson didn't push back, as Fuentes called himself a fan of Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin.
It's December 18th. I remember because that's an important date to me. And it's Joseph Stalin's birthday.
Oh.
I'm a fan.
You're a fan of Stalin's?
Mm-hmm. Always an admirer. But we don't need to go into that, I guess.
Well, that's, okay, let's get back to it. We'll circle back to that.
Denounced the influence of, quote, organized Jewry in U.S. politics.
Putting aside the tribal interest for the corporate interest,
Yes.
That's absolutely the case. And that's the only way the country's going to stay together.
Exactly.
And
That's my concern.
And I absolutely agree with you. I would say, though, that the main challenge to that, a big challenge to that, is organized Jewry in America.
Well, Carlson accused American Christians who support the state of Israel of being heretics with a brain virus.
And I think that neoconservatism, where does it arise from? It arises from Jewish leftists who were mugged by reality when they saw the surprise attack in the Yom Kippur War.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of it, for sure. But then, like, how do you explain Mike Huckabee, Ted Cruz, and there are a lot like that, John Bolton. I mean, I've known them all, George W. Bush, like Karl Rove. I mean, all people I know personally who I've seen, like, be seized by this brain virus, and they're not Jewish.
The Carlson-Fuentes interview was met with backlash, especially among Christian and Jewish conservatives. Will Chamberlain, the VP of External Affairs for the Edmund Burke Foundation, which organizes the National Conservatism Conference, called Carlson's interview with Fuentes a profound betrayal to his friend Charlie Kirk, who he says saw Fuentes as vermin, one of the worst people in the space. U.S. Ambassador to Israel Mike Huckabee also took to X after Carlson name-dropped him in his interview with Fuentes, writing, "Wasn't aware that Tucker despises me. I do get that a lot from people not familiar with the Bible or history. Somehow I will survive the animosity." Huckabee also got some support from Senator Ted Cruz, who jumped in on X, writing, "Mike Huckabee is a pastor and a patriot who loves America, loves Israel, and loves Jesus. I'm proud to be in his company." Internet sleuths even started digging up alleged evidence that the Heritage Foundation, a powerful right-wing think tank, was distancing itself from Carlson after the interview and scrubbing any references to the online host, according to The Independent. But the right-wing think tank quickly pushed back against the claims. 3 days after the interview was posted, Kevin Roberts, the president of the foundation, posted a video condemning efforts by movement conservatives aimed at canceling our own people.
The venomous coalition attacking him are sowing division. Their attempt to cancel him will fail. Most importantly, the American people expect us to be focusing on our political adversaries on the left, not attacking our friends on the right. I disagree with, and even abhor, things that Nick Fuentes says. But canceling him is not the answer either.
But reporting from the Post shows that the foundation's embrace of Carlson since the controversial interview has caused a rift in the organization. Internal chats reviewed by the Post show high-ranking members of the Heritage Foundation told each other privately how embarrassed and disgusted they were by Roberts' ridiculous decision to come to Carlson's defense over the sit-down with the far-right influencer. And the ripple effect from Roberts' statement has gone beyond staff issues, with sources close to the think tank saying it has been hemorrhaging evangelical Christian and Jewish contributors. During the Republican Jewish Coalition Leadership Summit on November 1st, Florida Congressman Randy Fine attacked Carlson head-on, calling the podcast host the most dangerous anti-Semite in America, all while the congressman surrounded himself with students holding signs that read, "Tucker is not MAGA."
Tucker Carlson is the most dangerous anti-Semite in America. He has chosen to take on the mantle of leader of a modern-day Hitler Youth, to broadcast and feature those who celebrate the Nazis, those who call for the extermination of Israel, to defend Hamas, to even criticize President Trump for stopping Iran's nuclear ambitions. Friends, make no mistake. Tucker is not MAGA.
But the anti-Carlson movement among Republicans came to a head when Shapiro, in a lengthy monologue, denounced Carlson for acting as a main agent in legitimizing Fuentes, whom he accused of purposefully trying to fragment the political right. Shapiro, a popular conservative commentator who also founded the Daily Wire, went on to argue that Carlson was an ideological launderer, softening the hate-filled rhetoric of figures like Fuentes and making their talking points acceptable within the GOP.
Americans hate Nick Fuentes' philosophy. They think it's trash. Americans hate Tucker Carlson's laundered anti-Americanism. Republicans think it's trash, independents think it's trash, Democrats think it's trash. Americans are not pro-segregation, pro-rape, anti-woman, pro-child marriage, anti-black, anti-Jew, anti-Indian, anti-Latino, anti-Constitution, pro-Hitler nutjobs like Nick Fuentes. And Americans are not pro-Putin, pro-Iran, pro-China, pro-Venezuela, pro-Hamas, pro-Fuentes, pro-Tate idiots like Tucker Carlson. They hate this vile garbage. If Republicans decide to cower before the likes of neo-Nazis and their propagandizers, they deserve to lose.
Shapiro branded Carlson an intellectual coward, a dishonest interlocutor, and a terrible friend, charging that the podcaster has become the most virulent super spreader of vile ideas in America.
Tucker denies he said anything controversial at all. He was just asking questions. He was just interviewing people. You don't want him to cancel people, do you? Of course, there is no First Amendment right to a Tucker Carlson sensual massage. But to listen to Tucker, you'd think there was, so long as you despise America, oppose President Trump's foreign policy, and bear a peculiar dislike of Jews. Tucker Carlson, you see, is a coward.
On X, Fuentes has also been doubling down with direct attacks aimed at Cruz and Fine. In one X post, Fuentes told the Florida congressman that he was a disgusting fat pig and to get out of my country. Fuentes also went on his Rumble live show to respond to Shapiro's monologue, criticizing the conservative commentator for trying to cancel him.
I thought Shapiro was against SJWs. Now he sounds like one of them. I thought he was against liberal tears and cancel culture and safe spaces. Now you sound like one of them.
Carlson addressed the mass criticism during an interview with libertarian stand-up comedian and commentator Dave Smith, and criticized Shapiro as a man of limited talent.
And now we're getting into what Ben Shapiro used to celebrate, that fabled marketplace of ideas, and he's going to go bankrupt in that marketplace because there's very little support for his position, which is fundamentally lobbying on behalf of a foreign country. And no one wants to do that anymore. Why would they?
The rift among Republicans comes amid major Democratic wins in New Jersey, Virginia, and New York City on November 4th. Conservatives are regrouping to find out what went wrong and how they'll be able to dominate in the 2026 midterms. Ohio gubernatorial candidate Vivek Ramaswamy was one of the first to post his post-mortem, imploring future Republican candidates to ditch identity politics.
And number two, cut out the identity politics. It doesn't suit Republicans. It's not for us. That's the woke left's game, not ours. We don't care about the color of your skin or your religion. We care about the content of your character. That's who we are.